Well, scholar, go upstairs immediately and put on something proper.
The 1970s was a revolutionary era for Hollywood, marked by gritty realism, experimentation, and some of the most iconic performances in cinema history. While stars like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Meryl Streep rose to the heights of fame, some extraordinary talents didn't receive the recognition they truly deserved.
Last time you saw me, I was in pretty bad, really bad shape.
These actors delivered memorable performances that stood the test of time but were often overshadowed by their contemporaries. Let's spotlight these underrated gems who brought depth and nuance to the silver screen but remained just outside the spotlight. Glynis O'Connor. With a natural, understated charm, Glynis O'Connor delivered deeply emotional performances that often went unnoticed by the mainstream. Her role in Ode to Billie Joe, 1976, was a standout, portraying a young girl navigating heartbreak and societal expectations. O'Connor's ability to convey vulnerability without overacting set her apart in a decade obsessed with larger-than-life characters.
Do you think any woman wants to face this choice? No woman ever wants that.
Despite her remarkable talent, she was typecast in roles that didn't showcase her full range. While her career included some television successes, she never achieved the level of stardom her talent warranted.
I carried him in my seed. Remember, that's what the doctor called it. The secret seed.
Victor Garber. Before becoming a celebrated character actor in later decades, Victor Garber delivered a quietly compelling performance in Godspell, 1973. His haunting portrayal of Jesus in this unconventional musical showcased his commanding stage presence and emotional depth. Despite his immense talent, Garber was largely overlooked in the 1970s, with roles that didn't fully tap into his potential.
But you must not be called teacher, for you have one teacher, the Messiah.
His subsequent success on stage and in television proves that he had the talent all along. Hollywood just wasn't paying enough attention back then.
The people, Lord, the people, not thrones and crowns, but men.
Carrie Snodgrass. Carrie Snodgrass burst onto the scene with her Oscar-nominated role in Diary of a Mad Housewife, 1970, delivering a raw and brutally honest portrayal of a woman trapped in an oppressive marriage. Her ability to convey both strength and vulnerability made her a standout talent of the decade. However, Snodgrass stepped away from Hollywood at the peak of her career to focus on her personal life, a decision that left her underappreciated in the annals of 1970s cinema. Though she returned to acting in later years, her early performances remain a testament to her brilliance. Brad Dourif. Best known for his chilling performance as Billy Bidbit in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 1975, Brad Dourif displayed an intensity and emotional range that few could match. His portrayal of the troubled patient earned him an Oscar nomination, yet he remained typecast in eccentric or villainous roles throughout the decade.
Stay with him till the doctor arrives.
Dourif's unconventional looks and willingness to take on dark, complex characters may have limited his mainstream appeal, but his talent deserved far greater recognition.
And I'll tell you what your little fucking
Shut up! Shut up! You promiscuous cunt!
Marsha Mason. Though Marsha Mason received multiple Oscar nominations during the 1970s, she often existed in the shadow of her male co-stars. Films like The Goodbye Girl, 1977, showcased her ability to blend humor and heartbreak with ease.
I graduated from high school 16 years ago, and that was the last time I ever heard that line, "Out of my way, please."
Yet her contributions were frequently overlooked in a male-dominated industry. Mason's nuanced performances and innate likability made her a standout, but she was never afforded the same career momentum as her peers. Her work remains a masterclass in subtlety and emotional honesty.
I didn't want anybody to walk on my scrubbing away at what can only be described as dog mess.
Timothy Bottoms. Timothy Bottoms was unforgettable as Sonny Crawford in Peter Bogdanovich's The Last Picture Show, 1971, bringing a quiet, aching vulnerability to the role. Despite the film's critical acclaim, Bottom's understated style often left him overshadowed by flashier performances from his co-stars. He continued to deliver solid work throughout the decade, including in films like Johnny Got His Gun, 1971, but he never achieved the household name status that his talent merited.
Mary!
To tell you, Merry Christmas.
Barbara Harris. Barbara Harris brought a quirky, magnetic energy to every role she played, from Nashville, 1975, to Family Plot, 1976. Her ability to blend comedy and drama seamlessly made her one of the most versatile performers of her generation.
Come on, everybody sing. It don't worry me.
However, her refusal to conform to Hollywood norms and her selective approach to roles likely contributed to her underappreciation. Despite her incredible range, Harris remains one of the most criminally underrated actors of the 1970s. Robert Forster. Robert Forster's restrained, naturalistic acting style was ahead of its time in the 1970s. His performance in Medium Cool, 1969, blurred the lines between fiction and reality, while his later work in Alligator, 1980, showed his knack for elevating even the most unconventional material.
Open the cockpit. Open the cockpit. Open the door.
Forster's low-key demeanor and commitment to his craft made him a favorite among directors but kept him from achieving widespread fame. It wasn't until decades later, with Jackie Brown, 1997, that he received the recognition he long deserved.
Oh, I guess I got a little sensitive about my hair a few years ago. It started falling out, so, I did something about it.
Tuesday Weld. Tuesday Weld's ethereal beauty and enigmatic presence made her a unique figure in Hollywood, but her preference for challenging, offbeat roles kept her from mainstream stardom. In films like Play It As It Lays, 1972, and Looking for Mr. Goodbar, 1977, Weld delivered performances of stunning complexity and raw emotion.
Oh, he wasn't driving, I was driving.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Your license.
Her reluctance to play the Hollywood game and her choice to avoid blockbuster roles likely contributed to her underrated status, but her work remains a treasure trove for cinephiles. John Cazale. John Cazale appeared in only 5 films before his untimely death in 1978, but each one is a masterpiece. The Godfather, 1972, The Conversation, 1974, The Godfather Part 2, 1974, Dog Day Afternoon, 1975, and The Deer Hunter, 1978.
Hand on her ass!
Cazale had an unparalleled ability to bring depth and humanity to every character he played, often stealing scenes from more prominent co-stars. Despite his critical acclaim, his career was tragically short, leaving many wondering just how far his talent could have taken him. The 1970s gave us some of the most iconic actors in cinematic history, but it also overlooked countless talents who deserved more recognition. These actors brought depth, authenticity, and innovation to the screen, proving that fame isn't the only measure of greatness. Love uncovering Hollywood's hidden gems? Don't forget to subscribe to Hollywood Secrets for more stories about the stars who shaped the silver screen.